Minimalism isn't about stuff, it's about psychology. 5 psychological patterns draw people to minimalism who think they're just decluttering their homes, but they're actually rewiring their brains for happiness through dopamine regulation, stress reduction, and cognitive optimization. What starts as throwing away old clothes becomes a transformation in how your mind processes stress, makes decisions, and finds meaning. Here's the shocking discovery. UCLA's Center on Everyday Lives of Families found that the average American household contains over 300,000 items, and we only use about 20% of what we own. The rest sits there, quietly draining our mental health. When you live surrounded by stuff, both cortisol and dopamine dysregulation occurs throughout the day. Women get hit especially hard, with stress rising when they look at cluttered spaces. Princeton University's Neuroscience Institute found that disorganized environments slash your brain's ability to focus by up to 20% because your cognitive load rises and your brain works overtime filtering visual noise. Minimalists aren't just organizing, they're hacking their neurology. Pattern 1. The hedonic treadmill escape. In 1971, psychologists Philip Brickman and Donald Campbell described why buying more rarely makes us happier long-term. We adapt. Brickman's study on lottery winners in 1978 showed their happiness spiked briefly, then returned to baseline within months. It's not just money, it's everything we buy expecting it to fix how we feel. That dopamine rush fades because your brain stops responding to the stimulus. The new car becomes just a car. Designer clothes become just clothes, so you keep chasing more to feel the same satisfaction. Minimalists step off the treadmill by seeking happiness through subtraction instead of acquisition, similar to Greg McKeown's concept of essentialism, focusing only on what truly matters. Pattern 2. Cognitive load liberation. Your brain has limited processing power, and every object demands a slice of attention. Psychologist Roy Baumeister's ego depletion research shows that decision-making depletes mental energy, and clutter forces thousands of micro-decisions daily. When Marie Kondo became a global phenomenon in 2019, she wasn't just teaching people to fold clothes, she was showing them how to free mental bandwidth. Think about decision fatigue. With fewer options, people make faster, calmer choices. And it doesn't just stop at clothing. Reducing possessions is cognitive housekeeping that creates mental clarity because your environment isn't constantly overstimulating your brain. As one minimalist said, "When I cleared my space, I cleared my mind." Pattern 3. Autonomy recovery. In a consumer-driven society, you're constantly told what to want and what to buy. Minimalists rebel against that programming and shift from external validation to internal validation through values, relationships, experiences. Dr. Mark Travers, a psychologist at Awake Therapy, explains that minimalism supports autonomy, competence, and mental clarity. Research using self-determination theory suggests minimalists often score higher on autonomy, competence, and relatedness, feeling more in control, less anxious, and more connected to what matters. Joshua Becker, founder of Becoming Minimalist, describes this as intentional living, consciously choosing what deserves your time and attention. A participant in a 2021 study described minimalism as an escape from the monotonous cycle of consumerism, a way to live more authentically. This helps explain why personality types like INFJs and INTJs often gravitate toward it, because it fits their need for authenticity and efficiency. Pattern 4. Social comparison shielding. Social media streams endless displays of other people's stuff, their homes, clothes, vacations. Minimalists build a comparison shield. When you're not playing the accumulation game, you can't lose it. You're less likely to spiral into what could have been thinking about material goods and more likely to practice what psychologists call savoring, fully appreciating what you already have. Leo Babauta of Zen Habits calls this enoughness, finding contentment without constant acquisition. Pattern 5. Stress hormone regulation. Visual clutter signals that work is never done, triggering a low-level fight-or-flight response that keeps the nervous system chronically activated. This disrupts both cortisol and dopamine balance, creating a cycle of stress and seeking. Minimalists create therapeutic environments where clean spaces support the parasympathetic rest and digest response. Lower cortisol isn't just feeling calmer, it's tied to better sleep, stronger immune function, improved memory, and reduced inflammation. Research from Dr. Darby Saxby found that people living in cluttered spaces showed elevated cortisol day and night, and that after decluttering, stress hormone patterns could normalize within weeks. But minimalism is controversial. Critics argue it can be a privilege, since owning less is easier when you have financial security to replace things. For people in poverty, minimalism isn't chosen simplicity, it's forced scarcity. And the Instagram aesthetic of minimalism often requires expensive, perfect items. Some psychologists also warned about a dark side, where trying to be a perfect minimalist can create stress, guilt, or anxiety about owning anything that isn't strictly functional. Still, research consistently suggests that done mindfully, minimalism creates a compound effect for mental health. You're not just reducing clutter, you're increasing focus, decreasing stress, improving decision-making, enhancing autonomy, and protecting yourself from constant comparison. The minimalist boom between 2019 and 2024 wasn't only about Marie Kondo. It reflected millions realizing their mental health is linked to their physical environment. Joshua Fieldsman and Ryan Nicodemus, known as the Minimalists, captured the core truth. No matter how much stuff we buy, it's never enough, because the brain adapts to each new acquisition. The trends echo that shift toward what some call the voluntary simplicity movement. Many millennials and Gen Z reduced their possessions, the second-hand market surged, and young people started rejecting the old consumption script, not only because of money, but because stuff can't buy the mental clarity they crave. Across cultures, similar mental movements appeared. Japan's Satori generation, China's Tongping, and South Korea's Enpo generation, all reflecting a pull toward low-desire living. The science is clear. Your environment shapes your mind more than you think. Every object is either supporting your mental clarity or stealing from it. Minimalism isn't really about the stuff, it's about space, mental and physical, to focus on what matters. When you remove excess, you don't create emptiness, you create possibility. In a world that profits from your dissatisfaction, minimalism becomes a radical act of psychological self-care, stepping off the hedonic treadmill and realizing happiness was never about having more, it was about needing less.